Hello and good evening. Uh, I thought I would introduce people to Emily Dickinson if you are not already introduced to her. Um, she lived in the 19th century. She's known as one of America's great poetresses. Um, I particularly like her work. I think she's transcendental. Um, I think she's mystical. She's known to have been, she's thought of as having been a recluse, and she was pretty much a recluse. She died at age 53 of Bright's disease, which is a kidney ailment. Um, she lived upstairs in a room in her family's home in Amherst, Massachusetts, and they sort of took a tray up and left it in front of her door, and when no one was around, she would open the door and grab the tray of food. You gotta love the woman, you know. And when she died, and they were going through her things, uh, they found her poems, and they were bound. They were handwritten. They were bound so many pages and then folded in half, and then bound with a ribbon through them. And she had numbered them in sequential order as she had written them, and dated them also. Most of them, not all of them. Some of them, um, they're not positive as to the date, but they know because they can kind of guess because it falls between other dated material. But what happened is her relatives said, "Well, look at this. It's she's been writing poetry up here all this time, and well, it's kind of weird, but it's if we could kind of just fix this stuff up a little bit, we could sell this shit and make some money." And that's what they did for years. And um, because she has kind of a sweet sounding uh, 19th century uh, spinster lady name, Emily Dickinson, people think, and the poems that they created from her poetry is a bunch of smarmy crap that is what most people were introduced to in high school and in college. They said, this is Emily Dickinson. Well, it isn't. It wasn't. It was the poetry that her relatives took from her after her death, changed, um, said it was her poetry, and published. And people in the Victorian age liked it because it was smarmy and flowery and pukey. And then in the 1950s, middle of the 20th century, this gentleman, Thomas Johnson, edited. Let's see if we can get a shot of that. Her complete works, and they look like this. I'll just show you a page. I don't know if this will show up or not. A giveaway is if a poem is titled, she did not write it. May have written the bulk of it, and words were changed, punctuation was certainly changed, words were eliminated, changed, and then titles were given, and it was a real travesty. It's like taking a Picasso, for instance, or a Van Gogh, and saying, well, it's sort of a nice painting, if we would just add a little bit of, Thomas Kincaid, grandma's old house where the pies are cooling in the window in the background here, it wouldn't be a bad painting and we could sell it, Well, that's what they did. God bless her heart. She must be, anyway. I'm certain would be quite horrified by it. Hell, maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she figures, let him get the money, who gives a shit. But anyway, I think what I'll do is read poem number 543 to you. It was written in 1862, and it was first published in 1929. Um, it takes a long time to get into her rhythm, into her punctuation, and learn to identify with her um, symbolism. It's well worth it. I've been reading her for years, 20 years maybe, um, 15 years for sure. And every time I do, another chapter opens, another paragraph is added to the wealth of this woman's brain. You know, I'm taken just a step further into who she maybe was, you know, or how I interpret who she maybe was. And it's just, like I've said, transcendental for me. It just lifts me beyond the everyday. And so I think it's important to actually read her poetry. I think I probably don't read it correctly. If there is a correct way to read it, I'm sure there must be, according to English scholars. But um, by being able to see the words and then look at them again and again and see the punctuation, which is very important, I think an individual gets a much clearer picture of what she is writing. But I'll give it a go anyway. This is poem number 543. I fear a man of frugal speech. I fear a silent man. Haranguer I can overtake, or babbler entertain. But he who weigheth, while the rest expend their furthest pound, of this man I am wary. I fear that he is grand. Thank you, Emily.